Oh, so close to me, you burn in hell forever, 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 forever. Boulevard. Oh, so close to me, you burn in hell forever, 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 forever. Boulevard.
everyone, and welcome to the flagship show of the Boulevard Bullies YouTube channel. Just a classic-style wrestling podcast hosted by two refined gentlemen. I am your host, PK with the BLVD, and I am joined by now 100% unmuted Jedi Joe of the flagship show. How are you, Joe?
What's going on, everybody? Jedi Joe here, a.k.a. the flagship Joe. Welcome on in, everybody.
Over on the secondary show, the B show on Tuesday, like Brian, Sean, and even Larry have committed broadcast atrocities every single week for like 80 weeks. And you ate on this stream once, and you're never going to hear the end of it.
When was I eating?
I guess like 2 weeks ago. You were. Are you still fasting, by the way?
Yeah. I probably was eating like a protein bar or something.
That's exactly what you were eating. And at least you had the presence of mind to mute your chewing. I feel like if Brian was to eat, you'd just be like. Hey, shout out to our friends over in the minor leagues at Boulevard Bullies versus the World. But, we do have a new up-and-coming show.
Single A ball.
We have a new up-and-coming show that's getting ready to hit the majors, and that is Drunk GM Mode, which is, I pay for it on Thursday morning, but that is a very widely regarded, critically acclaimed show for us.
Yeah, it's getting there. It's getting there. How was all last night? I couldn't watch all last night because
we rock until like 3 a.m. usually.
Wow!
And usually one of us wakes up forgetting how the stream ended. And this week it was Prince who called me and was like, "Was the stream good? I don't remember anything." I was like, "Yeah, it was good. It was awesome."
I remember you having his shirt was off, and you were watching a young boy get dressed.
Right? Yeah. Doing my best.
I don't know what was. Yeah.
Doing my best, Pat Patterson.
Yeah.
Hey,
brother.
Happy Valentine's Day. How was Valentine's Day for you? I thought about you.
Happy Valentine's. Oh, did you?
In a platonic way. Because I see that like people I work with and a lot of my friends, the content changes on Valentine's Day. It becomes like, I'm so happy that our twin flames flamed together and our paths crossed at the
now I have to buy a card.
Corridor of Fabio and Yanni Boulevard.
You ever see? I saw a meme where it was like all the guys in the card aisle on Valentine's Day, and they just sort of like they're all looking at the cards, like they don't know what to do. And then I went to Target and saw it firsthand.
You saw it?
Just 8 people in the Target on the card aisle yesterday.
I've been getting.
Yes, I waited till the last minute, but at least for the card, I waited till the last minute. But
what was harder, getting a card on Valentine's Day or fighting for a WWE ringside chair?
Yeah, definitely the chair. I mean, no one tried to fight me.
Hey, watch out, man! My girlfriend loves cats.
Yeah,
the last cat.
I think what happened with the cards, all the guys were looking at like the cards that were like $2 cheaper than all these other cards.
Bargain bin.
They separated like other nicer Valentine's cards opposed to all the other Valentine's cards, which are like for him, for her, for wife, for girlfriend. Like it's like more specific, and then you're just looking at envelopes. There's no other cards. So I just went over to the side and got one that was like it was like based on soy sauce. It was like you mean soy much to me or something like that.
Classic pun.
And then you make me so happy or something.
Soy happy?
Yeah, something like that. Me so haunt.
I have been getting in trouble my whole life because I don't like buying cards. And I understand, like, hey, it's not for you, it's for them. It's the thought, it's the thought of going to the thing. And it's like, I don't know, like the person that I really love probably would understand that I don't want to go to CVS.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, CVS. I also got edible arrangements for my girl too.
Ooh, a little chocolate dipped pineapple.
It was a pineapple shaped like a heart, and then it was chocolate dipped strawberries, and that was it. It was just a little mug thing, you know.
Yeah. Edible
and then-
arrangements. It's a
Yeah, edible
good-
arrangements.
good
What's
one.
up? And then we
I've-
went to dinner.
Ooh, oh right, okay. So this was a big point of conversation last night. The viewers could not wait to hear what Chef Joe of the flagship show ate for Valentine's Day. I'm a little disappointed to hear that you went out to dinner. I would think that you'd be in the kitchen, spewing your love onto the skillet.
I got to do that every day, dog. And it's funny because, all right, so we went to a restaurant, the first restaurant I used to work for. So it's out in like kind of like the burbs, the more rich area in the burbs here in Philly.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was really nice. We just got saw some people that I knew, say hi to the chef, and knew some other people. And then yeah, it felt good going back or whatever. And the food changed a lot. The restaurant concept changed. Not changed a lot. It's still like Italian with a lot of French thrown in there, but it's a little more Italian with pasta and like wood oven pizza now. And what did we get? We got
a little Napoleon.
yeah. We got like a beet salad. She wanted that, and then she wanted also the seafood tower thingy, so we had to get that. And then
$150 seafood tower.
All right, so it's funny you mentioned that. So then all right, so this is the rest of what we ordered. So then I ordered the duck dish, and then she ordered the Dover sole.
So you got a duck. Like you could get like liver, you could get like tongue.
No,
she ordered an animal soul.
Yeah, Dover
wow,
sole.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
she
that's
ordered
what that
a
is.
Dover sole. So it's just like what, smoke on a plate that you inhale?
Basically. Yeah, Morty. Yeah. So Dover sole, for anyone that doesn't know, it's like a white fish, like a flaky white fish that has to get like imported in. It's basically like high-end flounder. It's like really fucking nice. And how they do it there is like a nage, like a butter chicken stock reduction with like a whole bunch of veggies thrown in it, and you just like smother it all on, and you just eat the fish. It's just that and the veggie sauce and the nage. So she wasn't really feeling it, so we switched it. But other than that, everything else was great. Everything was great. But the point you made about the price, they came back over and it was like, oh, just to let you know, we want to make sure the chef reminded me to let you guys know about the prices. Like this is this much and that's that much.
Were the prices not on the menu? Was this place so fancy that the prices were not on the menu?
Well, two of the items was a special.
MP.
The sole and market price, which the sole was always market price when I worked there. So I already knew that anyway. And I was like, oh, I bet it's like this much, but it actually ended up being $10 less. But the seafood tower ended up being like $30 more than I thought it would be. So I guess it kind of balanced out. But because the seafood tower was shrimp, oysters, stone crab, and lobster. That's where it shot through the roof.
The lob.
Yeah, it's like how she described it was like half of 1.5. You mean like half? I got to do math in my head.
Half
now?
of a 1.5 pound lobster.
Yeah, that's what it is. So what is that?
A 0.75 lobster. 0.75 lobster.
You can't be like, oh, it's 3/4 of a lobster. When you say half of 1.5, it sounds a lot better.
Yo, in the chat, what's the deal? Like, I was actually thinking this as you were telling this story. Like, it must be so fucking cool to go to a restaurant with Joe. He's like, oh yeah, I know a few industry people here, and you like walk through the kitchen like fucking Goodfellas.
Well, they were like really busy, so like we literally only had like 2 minutes with the chef. I didn't realize they were this. I know it's Valentine's Day. I mean, I've definitely like worked there on Valentine's Day, at least once, and then and worked on Valentine's Day in many other restaurants as well. But usually Valentine's Day is like easier because it's all deuces,
right? Yeah.
And then you just pair everything up. But like their menus expanded a lot, and it's got a lot more complex, it seemed like. Plus you have the pizza, and who knows what they're looking like staff wise or whatever. So they were a little busy.
Valentine's Day.
The front of the house seemed fine. The front of the house, I mean, like they're a nice. They got it's a nice place. So it's got captains, back servers,
right,
food runners, front servers, sommelier,
and they were
maitre
packed.
d', hosts. Yeah, they were packed. Yeah, valets.
Right.
coat
yeah.
check. You know, it's a whole thing.
That's dope. I kind of miss working in that type of restaurant where it's like higher stakes. But also I'm a terrible employee, so where I'm at right now is fine. And you know, I've always, as a server, I've always been O for Valentine's Day. It's just shit because, you know, normally 9 out of 10 times that I've worked in a restaurant business, I have a station. I have a section like 4 or 5 tables. So, you know, on a normal night, you want like 4, 6, 8, maybe a deuce if you need to take them. But then Valentine's Day comes and it's all lower bills because it's all deuces, you know. And it's very similar to like a Mother's Day thing where it's like people who don't go out because wifey cooks. You know what I mean? So it's like, oh, okay, well, like the only, like, this is how we celebrate. You don't have to cook tonight, you know, and they don't know how to be out. They don't know how to be like restaurant goers. Mm-hmm. So it's like usually disaster. Going into last night, my place is more like there's no sections. It's just alternative seating. So it's like Pat's up, this guy's up, Joe's up, you know, Pat's up. So there's no crunch for time to flip the tables. So I was like, yo, this is going to be banging because as it is, my restaurant is more about volume. Like, okay, I'm going to do 25 $20 tables right now. You know, like $20 tip tables.
Turn and burn style.
You know, and it's like, and you know, if the fucking main course, if the bronzini comes out while they're still with the soup, nobody cares. You know, the only one who cares is me. I was like, no, not the bronzini. No, he's still on the soup.
Motherfucker with standards. We know that's like as ready.
And they're like, dude, and like as I'm talking to like the owner about how to like, because I want to fire it. I was like, yo, they're on their second course. Let me fire the fish. And he's like, oh, let me show you. Let me show you this. Let me talk to you about this, whatever. And as he's talking to me about how to hold the fish in the system, like a little back end trick in the system I didn't know. As he's talking to me about that, the fish comes up. A fellow server of mine, a good Samaritan, runs the fish. He runs. You know,
so you got trained for nothing.
As I'm discussing how important it is for me to delay this fish, the fish gets prepared, put in the window, and lands on the table while they're on their salad. But nobody cared.
It was a bigger plate for the branzino, or is it a standard like composed dish?
No, the bronzino, we do head and tail, so it's like a big.
Yeah, it's a whole guy. We had that. We had whole branzino, whole salt crusted branzino. They used to do that at that restaurant, but then when we went to the place that was in I know the exec that works at the restaurant at where the Flyers play and the Flyers and Sixers play.
Okay,
that's a good fucking hookup to be like, oh, we're going to Sixers game, and then you could just like fucking park in the fucking restaurant.
Ooh, like
where they
restaurant parking? Fuck yeah, dude.
Essentially, yes, restaurant parking.
Like staff parking, I should say.
Yeah. But so and there was a bronzino there. But yeah, usually it's just the fish. A lot of these dishes, you know, a lot of these fish dishes are just the fish. You gotta order sides, you know, that's how they get you.
Yeah. Well, in my old place, the waiter would like you can select debone or bone. So like the fish would come out and it's like beautiful. And then like the waiter takes it out of the window, puts it on like the counter, and with a knife and fork starts like getting all up in your shit. Like,
yeah, that's how they used to do the Dover sole at, I'm just gonna call it Savona was the restaurant. You can look it up, Savona. I'll put it in chat. But they used to do it tableside. It was one of the things they did tableside, and I guess it would just fuck up the service.
Well, that's nerve-wracking too.
Because someone has to sit there and be like, you know, and then you might botch it, you know, and I think that's what it was. It was either people botching it. You know, the standard kind of went down when you botch it, and then, you know, you just might as well do it in the kitchen.
Well, you might as well. And also, I don't know. To me, that's not very appetizing. Like, I would never order a fucking bronzino or any fish with bones anyway. But
could have been a COVID thing also, by the way, now that
that's another thing. It's like, I just don't want this motherfucker, like, I know let's say their hands are clean, which they aren't, but let's say the hands are clean.
Just like.
But I just don't want this motherfucker like leaning over, like doing surgery on my shit. Like I never understood that. That was the first place I saw the waiter debone the fish, and I was like, that is the least appetizing. And then you get the fish, it's like looks like it's all chewed up. It's like eaten. You know,
if they don't know what they're doing.
Good, if you were like a high end fucking like expert server and you could fucking just like like surgically remove it, like okay, then it would be impressive.
Yeah, but then maybe it got hammered in the kitchen. There's always that factor too. Maybe it wasn't cooked enough and it's like sticking to the body, to the skeleton. I'm just trying to think of variables as well. They probably just want to cut their losses, just make it right, debone it, put it on the fucking plate.
Well, and that's what my place does now. They're like, nah, you get the head, you get the tail, and you get all the bones. It's your problem now. Because we're not wasting time deboning. And then it's like, oh, well, can you debone it? Excuse me, waiter, there's a bone in this fish. Like,
can you cut my burger in half? Yeah.
Excuse me, sir, could you cut up my steak into little pieces like I'm
a
child?
They do that. They do. Can you cut this burger in half?
I was laughing
There's
about
a knife on the table.
I was laughing about the seafood tower because I was looking to apply to this place near me called Uncle Jack's. And Uncle Jack's, what the fuck is the name of the show? Kitchen Confidential, Restaurant Confidential. There's some
Kitchen Nightmares.
No, it's not a kitchen nightmare, but it's one where this like big fucking New York, Long Island guy comes in and yells at you. Bar Rescue, maybe.
Well, Bar Rescue is the big guy.
I don't know. He's
Kitchen Nightmares is Gordon Ramsay. I mean, that's someone yelling at you too. But then there's Dinner Impossible or Kitchen Impossible as well. That was Robert Irvine, the guy who's married to Gail Kim, actually.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. Wrestling. Hey, this is a wrestling podcast, by the way.
We'll get there.
We wrote that.
We'll get
that
there
before. We connected it all to wrestling.
We're on the road, brother.
But so it's just funny because I was like, yo, I'm sick of fucking flipping tables. I want to I'll go bus at fucking Uncle Jack's and make more than a server here. Like I was like, because it's server life or restaurant life, you're always like, you're only as mentally tough as like your last week, and then it's like, I gotta change my whole life. I gotta get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
I'm worth more than this. So I'm looking at it, and that's
place.
the first thing on Uncle Jack's menu is seafood tower, $120, and I was like, yo, and I was like yelling at one of my friends or something. I was like, all I would need to do is sell one seafood tower. I kept like screaming about this seafood tower.
Yeah, seafood tower.
So,
for $120, man, what do you get with that? It's New York, so probably not much. You probably get the same I got.
Yeah, well, and Uncle Jack's is kind of like it's kind of like trying to make people think you're at Peter Luger's. So like menu prices reflect, but like I don't know, is it
Peter Luger's is kind of a meme. Have you been there?
I used to go to Peter Luger's with my mom every day on every Thanksgiving.
But don't you need a reservation a little far out, or?
Well, not like that far out, but we usually make a res for Thanksgiving, and they're always packed.
Is Peter Luger's? Yeah, is Peter Luger's the one you need like months out in advance, or like a year in advance, or something?
I mean, maybe at the height of its popularity.
Yeah.
But now
maybe people finally
Morton's, and there's what the fuck is the other one near me? Something with a number in it. But it's the same thing. Kobe beef meatball.
I think it's in Philly too.
Fucking, the $8 bacon. Shit
yeah,
like that.
It's like a big slab of bacon.
Yeah, it's like a lightly broiled bacon. But anyway, actually, a little bit more restaurant talk here before we get into football and Rick and Morty and everything else that isn't wrestling. And the last 15 minutes of this 2-hour program, we'll touch on wrestling a little bit. But hey, shout out Ego Libido, who kidnapped my gloves, and they're at her house. I will bring a handmade card requesting my gloves back from you. And shout out Larry, shout out John Richter, M. Con is, I don't know. But anyway, what was I fucking saying?
M. Canezio.
Yo, I can't pronounce this shit.
It's my buddy, Mikey.
What's up, Mikey? Shout out. Thank you for watching, everybody. The flagship show is off and running. My Valentine's Day was kind of shitty, but and I left the restaurant last night with $100 in my pocket. So I thought to myself, I was like, yo, you know what? I was 0 for Valentine's Day at every restaurant I ever worked at. This one is a flip 'em. Fucking get them the fuck out of here. I'm going to crush it. But what I did not factor into my math is that nobody wants to eat at my restaurant on Valentine's Day. It's basically just like a Greek diner.
Yeah.
You-
So
you
no
know
one.
what I mean? Yeah, so it's just like a normal Wednesday night. Fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
Fucking absolute.
To answer Mikey's question, he asked, no. What did he say? He said something about no discount for being a former employee. So like this kind of thing is like I've noticed like kind of hit or miss nowadays because like I've left half the restaurants that I've worked at on like bad terms.
Like you throw your Crocs at them.
Yeah. It's like we went to one place by here and we didn't get hooked up at all. And I learned after the fact that I actually knew someone else also in the kitchen. I just didn't know until like 8 months later. So now we got to go back. And then the place in Wells Fargo, we got like super hooked up. Like we're talking like we had like a $300 meal that was like $80.
They bring out the charcuterie board for you and the dessert.
Yeah,
the dessert.
whatever, just everything. It was just like it was just like discounted to death. And then last night, we got champagne. Nothing got sent out, but like I said, it's also Valentine's Day, and it was also
Right, they're slammed.
busy.
Yeah.
So I don't expect that, and I also haven't talked to these people in like 10 years. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
the chef at the Wells Fargo, like I've gotten drunk and like many times with this guy and worked with this guy many times, so it's like a little different. So I think that's, there's a certain expectation with these things, but they hooked this up with champagne and like after dessert stuff, and I think it was something.
Oh, an
else they threw in
aperitif.
there. Oh, yeah, aperitif, which I just ended up taking coffee. I don't know, whatever. So, and then there was something else thrown in there. But everything's all on the check on that one. So, I mean, it is what it is. You don't pay anything at this dinner, and then you got to pay through the nose on this dinner.
Yo,
It is what it is. It kind of balances out.
There are few things in life better than like going to a nice restaurant with good food and like the guy and you get the table and they like fawn over you and make sure that everything's right. Like there are few things better in life than going to a restaurant and being like a well thought of VIP. Like that is just a nice time.
Yeah.
I fucking
I
live
mean,
to eat
like
dinner.
you put a lot of time. Like I said, I had no expectation, last night, and I don't think I had an expectation at the restaurant before. But at that like I said, that one of my buddies, the chef at, I figured he probably maybe send like one or two things and buy some drinks, and he like all the drinks are off the menu. They send like 3 things out. Then the thing comes out, the bill's like half off. Then he comes and takes the bill back, and then it's like half off of half off, like that.
Oh, that's
like,
awesome.
And he's like, oh, we'll just tip up. So then, it ends up being like $120, but that's with tip. You know what I mean? Like that. You also have to tip like heavy when you get that Uber hookup too.
Yo, so
You got to tip
few,
on the original. You have to tip on the
so
original.
few people
amount.
know that. Yo, and you know what? If I get hooked up, I would if I'm saving $80, $100, you know what I mean? I'll tip up on the original. I'll go
Yeah, you have to.
50% original. If I'm getting like a basically free meal, I'll drop a 50 or spot on the waiter, But that does not happen a lot. Like industry people know that, but like, a lot of people, they just see the money signs. By the way, first hour of the show, all about restaurant business, because I got to tell you a story about last night, and I got to tell you about when Bar Rescue came to the restaurant I worked at.
Oh, okay. You were about
So
to say
last night, so during the days I manage and I work the front, but in the evenings I serve because there's better money in serving, right? So the other day we were slammed at lunch, and I just kept sitting the tables. I sat the kid like 4 tables in a row. And I was like, well, deal with it. I don't know. What do you want me to tell you? I'm busting your tables for you. If you want to make the big money, you want to make big boy money, you got to take a big boy station. So, like, I got yelled at because I, like, pounded this guy with tables without, like, delaying them. Like, I, like, quadruple sat him.
Yeah.
And I got yelled at. And
What you doing?
Yeah. So I was sitting him, and I'm like, come on, keep it. Like, let's go. Even though I knew I was putting him in an impossible situation, I'm like, all right, come on, Danny, let's go, buddy. So I got yelled at, right? Then what happened to me last night? Quadruple sat. You know what I mean? And it's like, who's just beasting? Who's beasting through the restaurant? Me. And I had 2 tables. I had like on 7, I had 2 ladies and 2 kids. And on 8, the table right past it, I had 3 ladies and 3 kids. And all of these people were nightmares. They were just fucking nightmares, Joe.
Yeah.
So I'm like, and I'm in the weeds a little bit, so I'm powering through. So the manager comes up to me and goes, "Hey,
need help?"
No, well, yeah, I wish.
Get
and
fucked.
Yeah, but usually I'll be like, they'll be like, "Are you good?" I'll be like, "Yep." As I'm like murder walking, I'm psycho walking through the restaurant.
No, you gotta say you need help. That's a big thing. Like I learned like later in the industry is like people know how to ask for help, and I never asked for help either. But later on in life, I'm like, yeah, you can come over here, yeah.
Yeah, help.
It's
help,
like
help.
I'm not trying to stress out over food, dog.
Right,
like,
right.
You gotta get somebody to help you.
It's definitely like a point of pride for me that I want to be like the beast server.
That's always what it is. It's
Yeah.
like, no, I don't need your help. Let me do it. I got this. And then there's the best when like they're in like fucking awful or like they're an alcoholic or whatever, and they're just like it's just a big mess, and they're just like, okay, bud, and you just walk away, and it's just like flames to the roof, like.
Yeah, well, that's me. I'm the alcoholic server.
Yeah.
You see me just losing
You
my
can't
hair.
you can't light much on fire though in the front.
Oh, by the way, Lund Fire came to our restaurant, almost shut us down because the grease in the vents hasn't been cleaned in like 20 years.
Yeah,
By the way.
that's a lot of restaurants, dude.
But anyway,
That's how it was at the last place I worked.
so the server comes, or the manager comes and goes, "Hey, this table 7's meal just got paid for by like a parent of the school that they go to. And it's the little girl's birthday. So you need to sing happy birthday." And I'm like, "Yo, I'm 38 years old. I don't sing fucking happy birthday." But it's like, "All right, I will. Like if I have to, I will." So I go to table 7. Happy birthday to
Spotify, yeah.
you. Happy birthday. So and they're looking at me a little confused, but they're like, "Oh, all right, yeah." And then I go, "And
Okay.
by the way, guys, your friend from the PTA or whatever picked up your bill. So the meal is completely accounted for. Tip up on the original." You know, I'm like, "Don't forget so it's all on us. It's all taken care of."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Well,
everything.
who?"
Oh, everything is.
And I was like, "Everything." And I was
We
like,
out.
and they're like, "Well, who?" And I was like, "You know what? I don't know. My manager just told me. It was, I guess, somebody who your daughter goes to school with. Hold on one second. I'll get her. Come over here." So I'm calling her over, like the hostess, to say, because I want her to explain who paid for the meal. And the hostess comes over, and instead of explaining who pays for the meal, she starts explaining to them that she messed up, and it wasn't table 7's bill that should have been covered. It's actually the table past them that needs to be covered.
When did this happen?
Last night. So I'm like hamming it up. "Oh, guys, well, thank you for coming to and the cake is on us, and the entire meal was paid for." They're like, "What?" And I'm like, "That's right." And then she's like, "Well, who?" And I'm like, "Well, the manager will tell you. Come on, come over. It's a joyous time." She's like, "Oh, guys, I'm so sorry. It's actually table 8's bill has been covered.
What?
Not yours." And guess what?
You
Table
paid
7
double.
did? Table 7 put their tip in their pocket and walked right out, and I got a big old donut for that one.
Oh.
Then I had to
Stiffed.
sing happy birthday again to table 8.
Happy Valentine's Day.
And I swear to God, Joe, as I'm walking over singing, and you know, this is not a place where I can be like, "All right, guys, gather around. Let's teamwork. Let's go." Like don't make me do it alone. It's just me singing fucking happy birthday. And on table 8, they looked more confused about the birthday than table 7 did.
Whose actual birthday it was?
I have no idea whose fucking birthday it was, Joe.
You might have got a rib. Someone might have ribbed you,
Yo,
bro.
and you know what? I knew that the girl felt bad, so I didn't go in on her. But I was thinking to myself, yo, at my old place, like a place like that you went to for Valentine's Day, if that happened at my old place, they might have fucking fired me. Like if I was running the front and I made a mix-up,
Yeah, because they have a very high
might have
standard. Yeah.
fucking, or more likely, I probably would have had to come out of my pocket and pay for the other meal.
Yeah.
So, and it was just, what a fucking mess. So she quadruple sat me. She told me the wrong bill was paid for. And, yeah, what a fucking disaster, dude. Also, just a side note. Side note.
Chat's being funny.
Yeah, this is. Hey, welcome to Restaurant Insider with. Here comes the Seafood Tower with Pat and Joe. I just want to say about Bar Rescue, whatever the fuck it was, Restaurant Confidential. Yo, they came into. I used to work at a place in Long Beach called Serrata, which was like kind of like a nightclub, fucking Italian family style type of dealio. They came in and did a show there. Newsflash, it's faker than the NFL. Like, it was like, oh, hey, okay, so here, this woman here is hot. So let's have a situation where she's like giving the eyes to the waiter. Like, it's basically just acting. It's basically like cinema with civilians. So I just want to let you know, those shows are a lie. Just like the NFL is a lie. You see what I'm doing here? I'm setting us up.
Yeah.
For a little NFL talk.
Yeah. You don't have to explain. You can just go into that.
Because Dad. sorry. I have bad habits from our Tuesday show.
Yeah. You gotta fucking spell it out.
You see, Joe? As we start to move the gear.
Did you watch Dumb and Dumber this week?
Hey.
I watched Clerks too.
That is so true. That is so, as I'm leaving the breadcrumbs for the NFL, it will literally be like, hey, I love Rick and Morty. Anyway, Dad bod Mahomes. The guy.
I didn't realize he had a dad bod.
He makes it look easy, dude. Well, now he's leading into it. There was a meme of him after the AFC Championship game with his shirt off talking to the team, and he got flamed online. So for the parade, he had no shirt on. And then apparently somebody shot him because they thought that his dad belly was a bulletproof vest. So there was a shooting at the Kansas City parade as well.
Oh.
But
I'm going to save those jokes for Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Once again, bad habits. Yo, is Patrick Mahomes the GOAT? Is he like Michael Jordan, dude?
No.
I just can't believe that somebody who looks so not like Michael Jordan would be Michael Jordan. Like, made it look easy, dude.
Yeah, because it's fake.
It's fake. Right. No, duh.
It's always the same thing. They look like shit in the first half. I was at a Super Bowl party on Sunday, and I was just like bitching about it the whole time. I was like, second half's going to come up. It's going to be a totally different fucking story like it always is. And here they go.
But why can't you just believe that it's real and that they have a great coaching staff and Spags made his second half adjustments?
I mean, like, there was that punt return that dropped. I mean, to jump on the ball. Why was he trying to, like, run and chase that ball?
Yeah, that was weird.
You know what I mean? And then the whole thing with the coin toss and the overtime.
What happened with the coin toss in overtime?
I mean, like, why did San Fran decide to get the ball first?
I didn't think about this until days later or like the next day. I guess it's smart to defer the overtime kickoff so you know what you have to do.
Yeah. Because you're playing down the field just to score 3 or score 6.
Well, but see, I didn't think that it was San Fran's fault. Like, I didn't realize that was common knowledge with the new overtime rules. You defer and you give the ball.
Then you got all the memes of Travis Kelce yelling at Andy Reid, and then Taylor Swift going like this, like, "Oh, camera's on me." That's funny, right? Oh, that's funny. Did you see how angry Brittany Mahomes was because she wasn't in the Taylor suite?
She wasn't. Who was the other late? So Taylor got her own suite.
It was like a clone. It was like this weird, like, it was like poor man's Brittany Mahomes.
Yo, imagine you're Brittany Mahomes at like the first like few.
You're hanging with Taylor Swift all season, being her bestie, her new bestie. You hold hands with her. You're getting so much clout and so much of a rub off this woman. And
Taylor
then the Super Bowl comes, and now Ice Spice is in the booth.
Right,
now
sorry, she's got her own
white
box.
Girls in the booth. You got Jason Kelce in his KC overalls in the booth.
His overalls.
I'm trying to think who else was in there. I think Brandon Graham or one of the other Eagles was also in there.
So you think it's like?
And she's in her own booth. They showed her, and she was just like, Like, she was seething. She had steam coming out of her.
Once
fucking
again,
ears.
steam coming out of the ears, hair
Yeah.
falling out, chugging wine.
Yeah, with that giant mouth she has. Yeah,
Yo,
those piercing eyes.
Do you think that's legitimately what happened? It's like, oh, I'm sorry, Miss Mahomes. Taylor Swift has her own box this evening, and it is. Oh well, I'll just go visit. Oh, I'm sorry, it's full. It's full. Like Taylor Swift was like, yeah, now that I'm the most famous Chiefs significant other, I think I don't have to hang out with this lady anymore. I did it at first,
Yeah.
but I far surpassed her. So like, she's done, son.
Did you see? I don't know if this was fake, but it would look like Mahomes. Brittany was in the VIP table at a club. This is like before the Super Bowl. And then Mahomes' brother is trying to get past security, like big fucking security guard.
Oh, and she's like this.
He's got
she's like,
he's like, yo, I'm Patrick Mahomes' brother, and the guy's like, I don't give a fuck. And then you look at Brittany. Brittany's like, she said that.
hell yeah, dude.
Shit's really funny, dude. But it looked
Oh
like it
my
could have
God.
been fake because the camera's on him the whole fucking time, But she
I
was
love
like,
that.
sorry, whatever.
I love,
but yeah,
one of my favorite band. Well, not one of my favorite bands, but a new band that I'm listening to. They have a lyric in their song that goes, "Fuck off, I'm in love." So they made a shirt that's a picture of Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift kissing, and it says "Fuck off, I'm in love." And I just ordered it for myself.
did you see the video of the Niners at the roulette table or craps table in Vegas after the game?
No, please enlighten
Just
me.
like, oh, someone was just like 49ers, and it's like Bosa, McCaffrey. McCaffrey's like this, and he's like, like this, like, leave me the fuck alone, like seething, like they're all just like trying to get back, like, trying to cut their losses by losing more or winning.
Yeah,
some
get
money
like
back.
a little adrenaline because it's just like Michael Jordan with fucking golf, dude. These guys are just hyper competitive, so it's like
Yeah,
you need a little taste of a little victory because you just got beat in the biggest game of your life.
yeah. Like I'm a big like, oh, I don't get starstruck. I'm not a mark about wrestlers. If I saw Christian McCaffrey at a casino, I'd be like running over him, like, let's go gamble, brother. Let's go. I'd be like the biggest fucking mark.
What's up, bro? What's up?
What's up, brother?
Well, you could spot him because he's the only one who's 4'5" tall.
Yeah, he's short.
Yo, and
And we lucked out with that overtime with the bets too.
yeah, because that one drive he was heavily featured.
Yeah, and that was another thing. Like, he didn't do anything in the second half, and then like just like rested the whole second half. And it's like, okay, overtime, and then he just like runs 100 yards up the field.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Yo, and you notice this year, and we're almost done with football talk. We will get to the wrestling. You notice that this year there's a referee.
this is the last football talk for the
Last football talk for the year. Yeah.
well till September.
And then pitchers and catchers report, and my life takes a downward turn because I got to watch my New York Mets. But this year they have a referee assigned to each coach on the sideline. You saw this, right? There's like
What
a
is this? Is that the thing where they were going and talking about the plays? Is this what you're talking about?
No. Well, that's something that I learned happens this year is that they give the referees a heads up onto like trick plays they're going to be running. But there's
penalties.
There is a referee that is on the sideline for each coach to talk to now. There's like a interpreter, so to speak. So you got the zebras on the field, and then you got like black windbreaker like script enforcement on either sideline, like talking to the coach, like, oh, sorry, I'm getting.
We're gonna have to force a holding on this
Yeah,
one.
this
or at
one's
least-
gonna
we
be
need
a
at least-
holding.
Yeah, we're gonna, or at least we have to get like 15 yards down. So do whatever penalties.
Yeah,
in the category
so
for
like,
that.
It's like a guy saying like tell them.
Give me
tell them-
offensive interference.
So it's like-
Defense. We need a defensive. We need to go back
because you
15 yards
can't have the coach not informed about how the script changes are being rewritten, so they have now a referee with them to inform them of it too.
We watch enough fake shit that we know when a sport is fake. That's it. Like,
Yo,
that is my resume.
I
That is
just
our
think
resume.
that Steve Spagnuolo, ex-Giants defensive coordinator, is a genius. And I think that it's like, 49ers went down the field in overtime easily. Like, but you blink your eye, they're at the 15. And, that's what the great coaches, the great defenses preach. Bend, don't break. You know what I'm
They
saying?
want us to talk about UFL.
Oh, is that the Rocks, the USFL and the
XFL
XFL
and
merge?
USFL branded together for the UFL first season starts this year in March, I think.
I'll
We'll
tell
be
you
able
this.
to bet on it.
I'm gonna be bet on it. I'm in.
Anytime touchdown.
Anytime
Andy.
tut. Let's
Insert
go.
Andy Rodriguez, like generic fucking name or something.
Yo, give me the Defenders plus 3.5. Let's go. By the way, side note on betting with the XFL, the first game of the relaunch, I bet on the DC Defenders money line, and I won. And I bet them money line all season, and they won the championship.
There you go.
So whoever I decide, whatever logo speaks to me for this UFL, you better fucking. You know what the best part about the UFL is, Joe? The most promising aspect of it is that we might get a good football video game.
With the college?
Well, no, because UFL could license to a different studio. You know,
could they license to like two
right to like
have
2K
tables matches and shit?
No, but you know what
like you go into the end zone, it's just all flaming
Hell
tables
yeah,
and
dude.
shit. Hell yeah, brother.
But you know what I'm saying? So like Madden in the NFL is like a monopoly, and there's no reason to make it good. You know, it's just like a factory game. You know.
Yeah.
Whereas like if UFL,
It's like Call of Duty is. It's a
yeah,
fact,
it's basically it's Call of Duty. Yeah.
yeah, just like, ship it.
Right, like the one, yeah, but but yeah. So I'm just saying UFL could produce a decent football game because if the football gameplay is decent, I don't even care what the names of the players are. You know what I mean? Like I want to play like a deep football fucking sim. What video games are you playing?
I was pulling up all my my bets. I took Flyers money line and
UFL Blitz. Let's go.
I just realized that Fanatics, the the company that owns like WWE merge, does all the major sports teams and sports leagues merch and all that. All the money I spend there, I can turn. You get like a certain percentage of fan cash. It's called.
Oh,
You could transfer that into bonus bets on the fucking sports book.
Oh wow! So you're.
So I walked into like $200 in like bonus bets
What?
yesterday, and this was at like 1 a.m. in the morning. I'm like, what can I bet on?
Cornhole finals.
Immediately threw it on like the Coyotes, like to fucking come back. And then
Hockey. Let's go.
Yeah, immediately threw it on the fucking Arizona Coyotes.
Third period live bet on hockey. Sure.
Yeah, sure.
$25.
Video games. I am playing. I'm trying to catch up on Final Fantasy VII because the new one comes out in 2 weeks.
Oh man, I've been saying every time we mention this
2
on
weeks.
this show, I've been saying, you know what, Joe? That's a good idea. I'm going to put that on my to-do list. I want to replay the 7 remake, and I always forget. But now, I don't even think I'll have enough time.
Yeah, well, I'm playing the downloadable the expansion.
So there's an expansion of.
Sorry.
Is that your intern who's chained up in your side room?
Yeah, something was a really loud bang just now. So.
There was a Final Fantasy VII Remake 1 DLC.
Mm-hmm.
What was it?
It was when you play as Yuffie. You know who Yuffie is?
It sounds familiar, but I can't picture it.
Yuffie is like supposed to be like the teenager. She's like collects all the materia. She's a secret character in the original. Like when you first hit the world map in the original, and then you go across like the marshes after the Chocobo farm. You go to the Mytho caves, yada yada yada, and you go into like these random trees, and then she appears, and then you face her, and she'll join your party, and then like later on, there's another cutscene, and she just steals all your shit. She just steals all your materia, and then just bangs out, and then you have to like finish the side quests to find her once again, and yeah.
So that's
eventually
all.
You do this, but the thing is, she's from Wutai. Do you remember what Wutai was? Wutai is supposed to be like Asia of Final Fantasy. So and like Shinra is supposed to be like corporate America.
Okay.
and Midgar is supposed to be like America. I guess not like America, but like Shinra is supposed to be like corporate America, and they're trying to take over the resources
Like
of the
rural
planet.
America,
Yeah. And then Wu Tai is like the basically the China or Asia, if you will, of Final Fantasy, and they're at war with Shinra.
Right.
So anyway,
So what
so
is
then
this-
Yuffie's like under, working with Avalanche, who is also the extreme terrorist Barrett, and they work with Tifa and you work with Cloud.
So
and-
dope.
yeah.
Yo, 7 Remake was awesome.
Well, now you're going to get to play as Red 13, the bio
Right, like
lab
the
experiment
cat.
tiger dog. Yeah.
Tiger
and
dog.
Then, tiger dog. And then Vincent, the vampire.
Right, and isn't
hopefully
don't-
Sid and Yuffie. I assume Yuffie as well.
Well, don't you at some point like team with Sephiroth? Isn't that in Act 2 too?
So okay, so
And I
What
feel like
they
I
did
saw
with-
some like media, some like
What-
advertisements about this too.
what they did with the demo, so when the remake part 1 ends, like when you first get to the world map, and then like so you finish Midgar,
Right,
which
and
is
it like opens up.
then it opens up. So Midgar's like 3 hours of the original game, and then remake they decided to make Midgar like 40
100 hours, right? Yeah.
So when you go first out, then it's like, okay, they go to this place called Calm, and there's a whole flashback, and Cloud tells a story about how he was with Sephiroth, and they went to Nibble and Mount Nibel, and they went on a mission.
Oh,
and,
so
like,
do you
this
play
is-
you play
this
the
is when
dream
Sephiroth-
mission?
You play the dream mission, the
Okay.
whole retrospective that he did. And right from the jump, you play in the demo for remake that just came out last week. Right from the jump, you play as Sephiroth.
Oh, it just opens. Oh, that's kind of dope.
And then there's a little more story, and then you're playing as Cloud for a little bit, and then now Sephiroth joins the party again. Now you can switch back and forth, and there's like synergy moves. He can like buff Cloud's sword, and he turns into this giant like Dark Souls looking like purple magic enchanted sword
Dope.
with like dark energy. Like it's fucking sick, dude. It's probably the only time you're gonna get to play as Sephiroth, but they definitely did fan service with this because you couldn't play as Sephiroth in the original. He was in the party, like you get into battles with him, but he just like one shots everything. And then you look at all his materia combos, like everything's like mastered out, and like
Right.
his shit, like all his weapons and all his stats are like 10, 20 times better than you know.
You know what? I'm going to add to the list of the greatest things in life. Earlier in this episode, I said that eating at a nice restaurant as an extreme VIP is one of the finest things in life. And obviously I stand by that. But you know what else? Playing a from the ground up remastered video game, remastered by the right people who love the source material,
Or the people who made the game originally.
or even that is one of the finest things in life. Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 4, Final Fantasy 7.
Dead Space was well done.
Dead Space was so dope, but not.
Well,
not
now
like,
we're gonna have Silent Hill on the way too.
and
Silent
not a
Hill 2.
reskin. Like a. I grew up loving this. We are going
fan
to
service
rebuild it
does it
from the
justice.
ground up. Yeah, like
Well, they're
there's-
finally getting them right now because there's been so much backlash.
right. Yeah, and you know what? They often still get them wrong in movies as well.
Yeah, like they can't get the Resident Evil formula right with these movies. They do some weird casting, and then the community kind of like just says "fuck it," like, "Oh, you made Wesker black? Fuck you,"
Yeah.
And then that's it. It's rip.
Yeah, I mean, and did you see that they remastered, or I guess coming to Xbox? They didn't remake. They
Tomb Raider.
remastered the Tomb Raider, right? So it's like
Yeah, it
Tomb
just came out
Raider
yesterday.
1, triangle boobs now circular.
Yeah. So it's all three. Tomb Raider's kind of tough, bro. Like it's so many puzzles and secrets and shit.
But I watched the trailer for this original 1 through 3 remake, and it kind of got me hyped. I'm like, yo, yes, because they made the newer Tomb Raiders too much like Uncharted.
yeah.
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like they made it. More
I played
like,
those. I enjoyed those.
Those
They
were good.
cool.
They were good games, but they didn't feel like Tomb Raider.
Sam!
They just felt.
It was kind of a
Sam!
meme, like Sam. Oh God, Sam. Oh God, I'm so sorry, Sam.
They were great games, and I love them, but they were very like Assassin's Creed, Uncharted-ish.
Yeah, they're because it's very like, oh, I'm getting beat up. Grab this. Oh, no, I'm going down a waterfall. Oh, no, there's a trapdoor in a waterfall. Oh,
Right, where it's like, so it's like just the thought of like re-experiencing that feeling of playing the original Tomb Raider, but with just like smoother mechanic, just everything smoother. It's like that is appealing because those new Tomb Raider trilogy games were great, but they weren't Tomb Raider. They were just other games with her in it. You know what I mean? It was like it was Uncharted with her in it. Where it's like Uncharted, you kill 300 people on an island. Like you literally murder 500 mercenaries.
Yeah. Some.
Some.
They take in the first Tomb Raider, and when they started remaking them, do you remember her? I don't know if you played it, but she comes out of this like pool of like red blood. Like at one point, she's
which
like
game? 2, 3?
In the first one, what is it? Rise of the Tomb Raider or whatever.
Oh, okay. The remake.
Lara Croft. Yeah, the remakes. Lara Croft, Rise of the Tomb Raider, I think it was, and she comes out, and it's like a straight up homage to like Martin Sheen and like Apocalypse Now. I don't know if anyone had caught it, or maybe you know the scene I'm talking about.
Rambo.
Like right
Yeah.
But it's definitely like right out of like Apocalypse Now, which I thought was cool.
Yeah, those games were great, but they were
But
definitely.
I'd rather just play like, what's the other one with the female and the arrow, bow and arrow?
Oh, fucking Until
Forbidden
Dawn,
West.
Forbidden Dawn, something.
Forbidden
Dawn.
West is the
DLC.
Sequel.
No, Forbidden
Horizon
West,
Zero Dawn.
Horizon Zero Dawn. Yeah, yo, that game is fucking dope too. Actually,
It's tough. It's tough as hell too, because you got to hit all the creatures on their weak points. and shit.
apparently 2 was not good, but I loved 1, dude. I loved Horizon Zero Dawn 1.
Yeah,
You know what was so
and
dope about
Aoi is
that?
a good character too. She's
She's a great
funny.
character, and the way in 1, it fucking took hold of me. It really worked with me, because everything has a tutorial, right? Like, no matter how smart the game is, they're going to tell you that, like, L3 is sprint or whatever, right? But it was so dope because in that game, it was her as a teenager. So the tutorial took place over her, like,
Oh yeah,
younger years. So it's like,
Yeah,
she was
I
in like
remember
the
now.
teenage like contest, like Hunger Games thing or whatever the fuck.
yeah.
And then like there was a betrayal and like, a terrorist attack or whatever. So now as a teenager, you're learning how to do your moves, right? Before obviously the skill tree expands. So it was like over like 2 different portions of her younger life before you become her for the game. That's how they presented the tutorial. And that just worked for me, brother.
It was like her in that base right at the beginning, like it
Right,
was kind of boring.
one of their elders like betrayed.
Yeah.
They did like an Order 66 or whatever.
Yeah.
And you had to like fight.
Execute Order
right,
66.
You had to fight through like your townspeople killing each other, but as a teenager. And then through the magic of cinemas and the cutscenes, that's when you like finally.
Oh, isn't there a part where she just kind of like matures, right? Like in real time, kind of.
It's either
like
a crossfade or like a
it's
morph.
crossfade.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a crossfade or something like that. Yeah.
Hey, what's up?
I think it does like actually like a 360, like a pan that goes around.
Oh, and when you're
like
at
it
the
goes
back
like
of the head,
this,
yep.
and then like it comes up, and all of a sudden, like that's a badass shot.
Hey, welcome to Here Comes the Lame Wrestling Podcast, where we have spent an hour talking about things that are not wrestling, and welcome to hour 2, where it's going to keep going because, Joe, I have been so excited about this. You wrote in the notes this week, simply, Rick and Morty Season 7. I could do an hour on Rick and Morty.
Yeah, Morty. Yeah, let's only keep it at like 10 minutes.
10 minutes? Wow, thank you, sir.
5, 7, yeah.
Hey, Joe, this is very important. Let me stop you right there. Sidebar. Larry Legend asked this on Tuesday, and he wants to know right now. Oh, you know what? Side note of the side note. Logan
I can answer it with showing you my lightsaber.
Are you gonna you go get it?
Yeah, I'm gonna go get it right now. I'm gonna get it right now.
Yo, Logan Stein, Pat would be into many eyes. First of all, Logan Stein, I support Keith Buckley in everything he does. As far as the first track goes, Many Eyes' first track, if the devil ever had me, then he'll have me no more. I got my heel on the horn of his thorn. That is a great song. But Many Eyes, their next two songs, Many Eyes has heavily disappointed me. So I am not really into them, but I did order their Fuck Off, I'm in Love Travis Kelce shirt because I love Keith Buckley, and I just think that that's a great shirt. Okay, all right. Now, are we going to get the sound effect when you turn it on? Oh, wow. Larry, I hope that you appreciate this, Larry. You're getting the whole experience, dude.
The whole experience, Morty. The whole experience. So first of all, I want to show you the hilt. It's like a custom hilt that I won in like a mystery box where like you were at Comic-Con and you can either pay for like this one tier at like $100 and this other tier for like $250, and you know, it was like you can either get something really basic in the mystery or you get this, which was like blue, completely metal, and like all the sound effects, and it was like battle ready too, and like, you know, the custom emitter and like all that shit.
This is incredible. I want you to teach me about this world. Everybody is going nuts in the chat over this, and by everybody I'm. Wow.
Can you hear it?
Oh yeah.
Hold on. I'm trying to initiate the actual.
I heard it at first where it goes. Ksh. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, so it has motion on this one. So this is like an advanced one that like not only does it have the hum when you move the whole saber, it
Right.
does like a swinging sound, and then an actual like deflection sound.
Have you ever
if
LARPed
you
with this,
hold it-
Joe?
I think there's like a
Like a. Ksh.
yeah, like the locking sound. I guess it doesn't.
No, well,
And
it
then-
doesn't,
and then
it
the-
doesn't
but the-
respond to
but the-
human hands, only lightsaber technology.
But the whatchamacallit is even cooler. It's like a delay. Oh, that is the lock sound effect. I have to hold it.
Oh, so you have to, if you're LARPing, you have to hold it while you're.
It just keeps going. And then you can let go and it'll stop.
I love this. It's really like. Now, Joe, let me ask you this actually. If you
Yeah, I have
were-
another one.
Oh my God.
So this is like the bait. So like I said, I got two of the grab bags. So the first grab bag I got, or the first mystery I got, was the blue one I just showed you. And then I went back with House Money and then got this one. So this one was just like the most basic of basics. So look at the difference. This
Yeah,
is
the
like
blue is much more.
this is like
impressive.
a $400 one. I paid the same price for both. But this is like a $400 one if you went and customized it yourself on their site. It's called Ultra Sabers. And then this is just like, you know, normie. This one's green. No
Ooh.
sound effects. No sound effects
Zero
at all.
sound.
No startup.
And it's
no
all in the
ignition.
handle, really.
It's literally like this. Like it's like a light bulb basically. This is like if you want like, you know, just a Halloween kind of thing, I guess, or you know.
Yo, I fucking love this. I'm so fascinated. Now, Joe.
And then
oh my God.
there is the Darth Vader Master Replicas replica lightsaber.
This motherfucker has 3 lightsabers, Larry.
Oh, the batteries don't work on this one.
Oh,
This one was red.
oh
Maybe,
man.
maybe
we
I
were
can
all-
call my girl to
We need batteries. Stat.
I can get batteries.
Yo,
in
this
this.
is awesome. Joe, have you ever like taken
It's
that?
just double A's. I can do this. Go ahead.
Have you ever taken that blue one like out around like a con or like a Comic-Con or like some kind of
Yeah,
meeting,
so-
like just to flex? Like
So-
like I don't see you as a LARPer. Are you a LARPer? Do you live action role play with your sword, with your lights, with your saber? No.
Well, when we bought it, you had to walk home with it. So you were walking around like on the what is it? What train goes from Hudson Yards? The 2 train,
oh yikes.
something like that. One of those trains, like, you know what I
from
mean,
like from like 11th Avenue.
all the way over to like
Yeah.
what? just Times Square, and then I had to walk and then get on the N train all the way back to Brooklyn with it.
Now, were you cosplaying as well, or were you dressed like a normal civilian?
No, I was just dressed like this. I go like this. This is good. This might be not a thing because this has like the weird battery acid.
Oh yeah,
It's
you
been in
might
there a
need to get a
while.
new holster.
Yeah, but this like now this is so Master Replicas used to do these, and now Hasbro owns them.
No,
so,
you're saying that handle is like a replica of what Darth Vader's handle
this
in
is,
the
yeah,
movie
this is a replica of Vader's, which is pretty much the same as Anakin Skywalker's, but it's always like the long guys here, kind of like half moon emitter.
Jedi Fallen Order, where you can like customize your lightsaber on the table.
I haven't played the second one yet. What is it? Jedi Survivor? I haven't played that.
Yeah,
yet.
I haven't either.
Because it's just so many games are coming out and shit. And just
So did you love that part of the game where you would like customize the saber and like the
I
handle?
was always trying to do some crazy shit like gold mixed with like, because they had a lot of the stuff that's like from the High Republic.
So it's just like
Just,
lore
the
stuff.
Gold. Yeah. Like the High Republic stuff is like well before like the Old Republic. When like Jedi were like very royal. Everyone was like wearing bright white robes and like gold, and like crowns and shit, and like they just were like they actually ran shit in the galaxy,
Right. Oh, this is so fascinating. I'm so into this.
I don't think this is coming out, but yeah, we have to talk about Rick and Morty.
Yes, another sci-fi staple.
Morty.
So
There was a whole episode this season that was like Star Wars.
Oh,
Star Wars Transformers.
which episode was that? I don't think I
The
saw
one with the numbers and the letters, the Ice-T one.
Oh, I hated that one. I hated that one so much.
It was silly, but I liked it because it was like literally just like the Transformers movie and had Star Wars like TIE fighters and shit.
So I want to hear so much what you have to say about Rick and Morty season 7, but I think I want to start by just saying a blanket statement of I love watching like YouTube analysis videos, like a 2-hour fucking documentary on like a deep analysis of Rick and Morty, deep analysis of Last of Us, all this shit, right? I just love watching that shit. And by the way, I will never watch deep analysis of Sopranos, my favorite show, because Sopranos isn't even worthy of a YouTube analysis. But these other shows,
You don't care about other people's opinions of it.
Right, exactly. But I do find deep analysis YouTube videos on shows and narratives and shit very fascinating, video games. And I feel like a lot of videos online are giving Rick and Morty the same treatment that The Simpsons is being given. And I feel like this is just in the lexicon now of like the way that we view and enjoy things. You're not a real fan unless at some point you say that it sucks now. Like, oh, Howard Stern isn't as good as he used to be. Rick and Morty's not the same.
Pro wrestling sucks.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, there needs to be a decline. It's like, why Rick and Morty sucks now? And I see a lot of those fucking videos.
Yeah, I don't know. It definitely doesn't. This is a solid, good season,
dude. And I mean, maybe I'm not smart. I consider myself an above average consumer of media. Like I care about it. I like to think about it being made and shit. I'm not just like eating it like White Castle. Like I really like. And when something's good and when something gives me a good vibe, like I care about it and I think about it and I love it. Rick and Morty has never ever made me feel like they are not as good as they've always been.
Well, I think it's also pretty cool that they came back after all that shit that happened too, right?
And yeah, okay. Did I like the Ice-T episode? No. Like there are some down episodes, but I don't think that they like jumped the shark and are like not good anymore.
No, it was great.
Yeah,
the black hole episode was good. It's supposed to be like kind of Twilight Zone.
Oh, and the spaghetti, dude. Yo, it's fucking brilliant. Like I dream at night of being smart enough to think of any Rick and Morty storyline.
Mm-hmm.
Like I hope to one day be as smart or creative to be able to write one single joke on Rick and Morty, even in season 7. And I couldn't tell the difference between the voices.
No. So wait, so they have a new dude now doing the voices
I don't
because
know.
dude got
I think
canceled or whatever.
Right. So they have a different. He used to do both, and a lot more of the voices. Because everybody who's just in intergalactic cable sounds like Morty, basically.
Yeah.
All the civilians in the show sound like.
Oh,
gee.
Yeah.
But I guess they have 2 different dudes now. But it's like, it's like Michael Jordan left the Bulls, and they just got to get new good players. It's like, I love this band Norma Jean. Norma Jean has had
I know Norma Jean. Yeah.
They've had 27 fucking different members, right? But it's like there's something to be said for being so popular and so good that you are just now an establishment. You're a franchise. Whoever the voice of Morty is, it's their dream job,
Mm.
It's not like some burden that you have to carry because you weren't ready for fame and now you want to strangle women. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like a second generation. Sometimes it's good. This person who obviously practiced the Morty voice, grew up loving Morty and wanting to honor. It's like we're talking about with the video game remakes. Sometimes get these old crusty guys. It's you know what I mean? I know it's your thing, but it's bigger than you now. I don't know. It's interesting.
Larry says he got canceled. What was his name? The creator of the show?
Justin Roiland. There's Dan Harmon who's still on the
Roland.
show.
Roland got canceled because I guess he's a domestic abuse. Is that what it was?
He had a domestic abuse thing, which
he
by
was
the way,
acquitted.
he was acquitted.
He was
fully
acquitted.
But it was he basically. I don't even know the story, but he basically got canceled. I think there was something with underage texting in there too.
Oh. But yeah, I
you know
enjoyed
what,
the season
John
a lot.
Richter in the chat, you are absolutely right. The new E-Town Concrete song is not good.
There's Mikey in chat loves E-Town Concrete.
I fucking
at every
love
show.
E-Town
He's at every
Concrete.
show, front row, recording, screen recording.
Hell yeah, dude. Me and Mikey
I don't know if
and
he's still
John
in
Richter,
chat.
our friendship just grew exponentially because I fucking love E-Town Concrete. And you're right. There are some scenarios where things get less good as they mature. That's nature. That's life. Even the greatest mountain will erode due to sand in the air, whatever. But I just think there is and The Simpsons is definitely not as good as it used to be. But Rick and Morty is not part of that conversation, in my opinion. That's all I'm saying.
I think also the intro to the show is one of the best intros, and that helps it a lot. Like the
they wrote it for you.
Silly.
They
it doesn't change. Anime changes every season. You know what I mean? The Simpsons haven't changed. That's still the same one, but it gets you hype as fuck. For that episode.
Yeah. No. And and I saw a video. The episode, I think it's season 1.
Oh, the Evil Morty episode was really good this season, too.
Oh, they finished the whole story. They finished the story.
He has his own portal gun and shit.
He's got the yellow. And Rick, of course, it's such classic cinema. Rick got the vengeance that he was hoping for. And what happened? It didn't fill him up the way he thought it would. A classic tale.
Oh, with Rick Prime.
Rick Prime, he fucking, he gets.
Yeah, they did a lot more with his wife this season.
Oh my God, that episode where she's around, they go into the hole.
That's the hole, the black hole, the Twilight Zone.
Yeah, the fear hole is that episode. I strive to be that smart, Joe.
Mm.
And the way that Morty, the way that it unfolds, and you think it's about Rick, and it's a fucking triple swerve in the smartest, the greatest thing that's ever happened in wrestling has never been that smart or satisfying storytelling wise.
Tony Khan can never think that up.
Tony Khan should be on drunk GM mode, honestly.
Yeah. Do we want to talk about wrestling yet? That loud bang upstairs with the new TV box, by the way.
You have a new
My
TV?
Yeah, we got a 77-inch OLED.
What?
It's fucking huge, dude.
It's because you're
Like, when
saving all
it-
these monies on these dinners.
Yeah. It was like $2,000, bro.
Wow. Yo, I would
um,
love to strive for that
huge.
level of adulthood where I'm like, you know what? I'm going to buy a $2,000 TV because I'm responsible. I have a good credit score. And when I'm done with work, I'm going to come home and watch my dope TV.
Yeah.
God bless you.
300 credit score, yeah. Yeah, it's fucking huge and it looks really nice. And my girl just still watches Friends on it. And Friends looks a lot better on it. Don't get me wrong.
Is it like the scene in Simpsons with Milhouse's hair blown back with Thrill
Yeah.
Kill or whatever they get?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, Friends is so good on this TV, Joe.
Yeah. Yeah, the first thing she always puts on is Friends. I'm trying to just find like all the 4K compatible shit. But basically we almost broke the fucking thing. We tried to like, oh, we'll just install on the wall ourselves. We ended up stuck on the wall mount step 1 for like 2 fucking hours. And then her and her friend and me tried to like move it and all this shit. And like these TVs are so fucking fragile, bro. Like we start moving it, and it's like you start hearing cracks,
Right, yeah.
and shit, and you're just like, up, stop, and then we just immediately just called Geek Squad. So they finally came today.
So Geek Squad
Um,
came and fucking bolted it up and handled with
They
care.
did everything within like 20 minutes. It took forever for them to get here, you know, like days and days. And plus we had snow the other day, so they had to cancel. But yeah, we finally got it on the wall, and it's great. Just in time for football to be over.
Right. No more football.
But yeah, I'm just trying to find like what is the like all the best 4K executions.
Oh, well, you
like,
got to watch like some
best way to
Planet
watch-
Earth type shit. You
yeah,
gotta watch
yeah,
just like
and then like
macro.
best way to watch sports, best like Disney movies. Even though we just watched the new Avatar, you know.
Was Avatar? Did you watch it on the 77? What have you
I
watched
bet
on? The,
I bet Joe made her friend cry. So there was a lot of cursing.
I feel like
It was just me and my girl
I
cursing
envisioned
it.
I envisioned this too, Urka. As
Yeah.
Joe was saying this, I was envisioning all three of them arguing amongst themselves.
Yeah, it was like, why don't we move it this way and then lay it down this way? And he's like, that's what I just said. I was like, well, you're not fucking listening to me. Like, we're all just like, fuck. It's like, well, fine. Well, I'll just do what you said. This one fucking time. Like, it's just
Yeah,
like,
this is
oh,
exactly as I imagined it, actually.
yeah, and then our friends just like, we were going in on each other.
So it was kind of like her favorite show, Friends' episode with the couch.
Yeah. Pivot.
Pivot, twist.
I wouldn't have known that reference unless it was for her, though. So, shout out to her.
Adrenaline in my soul. Something.
Sup,
Flagship
Fantastic
Joe.
Four?
oh,
No,
you
no.
want to yeah, let's,
I just wanted to get your opinion of who do you think of the
Yo,
what do you think of the
my
cast?
fucking guy Richie.
Yeah,
as
that's
the
crazy.
thing. I fuck with Richie heavily from the Forks episode.
Yeah,
The greatest
he's gonna be
years-
just the shit talking, angry.
yeah. He's gonna be
thing.
Richie as yeah.
basically, and then
Yeah, the Twink Fantastic Four.
the Twink Fantastic Four. So then Mandalorian. I'm surprised they didn't bring back what's his face,
John
from,
Krasinski.
Yeah, why did they bring him back?
They should have. And you know what?
I
Like,
think Pedro could have been somebody else. Who did they say Pedro was going to look more like? Or like what he was like better of a cast for? Like, I'm sure he's going to kill it with this.
I
but,
just
like,
Joe.
they
I
suggested
feel
for him to be somebody else.
like he and you got Eddie from oh my god. This-
Oh, yeah. He's fine. I think he'll be fine with that. And then the girl, the blonde girl, I have no idea who she is. So,
What was her name again?
I don't know. She's got really big eyebrows, like bushy eyebrows.
I
I'm
don't
talking
know.
about the
I
new
just feel
Fantastic
like,
Forecast, if you couldn't.
Yeah, Fantastic Four. Mr. Fantastic, which is the Elastic guy and the leader.
Reed Richards. Yeah.
Reed Richards will be played by Pablo.
The world's smartest man on earth. Which one is Ozymandias' thing? Is he the smartest man that ever lived, or smartest man on earth?
Smartest man on earth, I think.
Yeah, it's like the same thing.
And
the
then
Invisible Woman.
And the Invisible Woman is played by whatever the name of that actress. She's like a trending.
Sue Richards.
Yeah.
Or
and
Sue Storm. And then, well, I'm very blurry.
Wait, hold on. Let me see if I could think of the name of the fire guy. Hold on.
Okay, go for it.
I can't do it. Just tell me.
You mean like the Human Torch?
Well, I know his name is the Human Torch, but what's his like civilian name? What's his like scientist name? What's his astronaut name?
Johnny. I was about to say Johnny Blaze.
Is it?
Isn't that that's Ghost Rider, isn't it?
And then what's the thing's real name?
Hank, right?
Yo, that would have been a good fucking thing.
Yeah,
Hank from Breaking Bad.
It's isn't it Johnny Storm? Because it's the Storm brother's sister, so it's Johnny Storm, right? And then I think it's Johnny, and then I think it's. Why am I thinking Hank? Because maybe it's like Hank Pym, or I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on the Fantastic Four. I've never.
Well, you
was
were
a fan
so
of
good.
them.
You were so good with Reed Richards and what's her name.
I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on them.
And I thought you knew all their names. I was because you own 3 lightsabers, so I figured you definitely knew the 4 names of the Fantastic Four scientists.
Yeah, Johnny Storm. Yeah, I got that right. And then what's Blue-Eyed Ding's fucking name or whatever?
That guy Richie does have beautiful eyes too. He does have beautiful, lovely eyes.
Didn't Michael B. Jordan play
Ben
Human Torch?
Grimm.
Oh, Ben Grimm. That's what it was.
Wow.
Why was I thinking Grimm was whatchamacallit? Blaze, because Grimm and being evil, and then Ghost Rider was dead.
Well, I was thinking Grimm, Ghost Rider because of
And then
Mr.
Twisted
Grimm
Metal.
motorcycle. Right.
Twisted Metal. I don't know why I was drawing. I was getting fucked
That's kind
up
of
here.
that's kind of where I landed as well.
Ben Grimm. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I never was a Fantastic Four fan.
Yeah, me neither.
But they were very important cog in the machine.
I guess
think
everybody's
once they
talking
get
about
them
how like
introduced, they'll have
Marvel's dead, right? Like, well, Marvel sucks
the
now.
the Marvels. Have you seen that? The one with the 3 girls.
Apparently, that's terrible.
I've never shut. Okay, so when I watched, what was it, Ms. Marvel, one with the Indian girl?
Mm-hmm.
I watched the first episode. I couldn't get through it, and then the Marvels. I watched like the first 20 minutes with my girl, and like she fell asleep, and I was like, I'm shutting this off.
Yeah,
It was horrible.
I don't really like keep up with the Marvel universe as much as I keep up with like the YouTubers I like's reviews of the Marvel universe. If that makes sense. Like I've never seen any of the Avengers saga.
Oh yeah, I mean I've seen all. Those,
I've never seen
so.
any.
Those
of
are
that.
always like night one. You know, you go out, you couldn't have any.
The
of this,
last night one thing I saw, I think it was.
Godzilla versus Kong.
No, I think it was Star Wars 7 or whatever. It was like
Force Awakens.
yeah, I think I went to the midnight of that with like a bunch of friends. I think it was the last fucking thing. Yeah, with fucking Kylo Ren and like Han Solo and shit.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
stabs Han Solo.
That's Ray, but yeah.
Well, apparently the vibe is that Marvel is like dead and like everything they're putting out is trash and like
I mean, Star Wars is kind of like Disney's kind of fucking up, dude.
Yo,
like Star
but
Wars and Marvel are both
during
floundering.
the Super Bowl they fucking did an ad for X-Men 97, which is like a remaster.
The new animated
right,
of
which
the
is
animated, right?
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Yeah.
Right, which is kind of dope. Then they did it. And they teased Deadpool Wolverine. And
Oh
they
yeah, that's
did,
gonna be good.
And they announced the Fantastic Four. So they were like, fuck it. Actually, we got something. We got a few things left in the
Yeah,
bag.
I think they gotta get out of this like whatever this post-COVID. They're still in post-COVID mode. You know what I mean? Because there's so many. I think once they start to get the X-Men have already been introduced. They already introduced Beast in the Marvels.
Oh, and who was
And then,
Beast? Wait, hold on.
I already said his name.
Who the fuck?
Thinking he was the Thing.
I just heard that. No, I mean, what actor was it? Like, I just heard about this. I just read.
He had a brand new season of his old show.
Tony
Recently.
Shalhoub, Monk.
No.
Oh God damn it! Who was it? Frasier?
Yeah.
It has to be Fraser, dude. It
Brendan
has
Fraser.
to be him.
Yeah.
He basically is Fraser.
Yeah, so they brought him back, and he's going to be Hank McCoy. Yeah, I don't know how they're going to execute the X-Men thing. I guess it's going to be through Wolverine and Deadpool. I assume that's going to be them kind of bringing them in. I think once they bring the X-Men in, they'll be good. But it also depends on who they cast as the X-Men. I think they also need to cast who they casted when they rebooted it originally.
Yo, but it's kind of like wrestling.
McAvoy
right?
and Fassbender and all them.
Isn't it like wrestling? It's like they knew they had, like, think about it. It's like the government type of shit. Like if we know this much, what do they know, right? And it kind of gets into WWE too, which always disappoints me, but it's like the heads of the Marvel studio and their fucking, I'm sure, 5-star marketing department knew that, like, hey, we could take an L right here. We could do a little thing where, like, in the post-COVID, post-Avengers era, we could do like Beetle, Ant-Man. We could go like this because we know we got X-Men in the bag.
Isn't Beetle DC?
Well, whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? We could still make reasonable money, not Avengers money, but we could still make reasonable money putting out shit product. And just
but I don't know if they're making even profits anymore on some of this stuff because it costs because they're all the asking prices of these actors keep going up, and then like I remember there was a thing that also said there was all that hubbub online about how the CGI looks like shit because like they're losing money, so they're toning back the CGI.
They're not spending as much money on CGI.
They're not spending as much, and that's why like She-Hulk kind of looked like shit and yada yada. So
well, it's almost like you were saying before we started the stream about how WWE T-shirts, it's like they know that the fans will buy any shit. So, like, it lowers the quality. And you know what? And we were talking about Madden. We were talking about Madden before. It's like the fans vote with their wallets. You know what I mean? So if you're going to snatch up She-Hulk with the shitty CGI, you're going to let Ant-Man 2 or whatever the fuck, Quantumania or whatever the fuck.
Well, that was good. But now, look, they get another reason why they're all fucked up is because Jonathan Majors got fucking charged.
Who's that?
Jonathan Majors was supposed to be Kang, the big villain, like the Thanos big bad villain in the next phase. Now they have to, they just been getting L's left and right, dude. So now they're going to have to, recast them.
It's just like the NFL is scripted.
Or bring in Doctor Doom, which they might with Fantastic Four. That's where Doctor Doom's from.
I feel like 2 years ago there was talk of Howard Stern being the voice of Doctor Doom.
Howard Stern. I think I did read that.
Oh, that was like a thing.
Yeah.
Okay, pop quiz to everybody in the chat and to you personally, Flagship Joe. How old is Kelsey Grammer? And
70.
Okay. Larry, how old do you think Kelsey Grammer is? And by the way, we're doing Price is Right rules. So if you're over, you're out. So you could guess 1 year old. You can say 1 year old.
We got a half hour to talk about a week's worth of wrestling.
This is my favorite show we've ever done, honestly.
Yeah. I think we'll go over time today because we went 20 minutes short last week.
Yeah. And by the way, I wanted to also apologize to you, Joe. It's just I felt like I just looked at the time and it said
I gotta pee.
10:20, and I needed to pee. I couldn't think straight.
Oh, because we started 20 minutes late.
Then there was a late.
Yeah.
So I felt very bad all week about that. I just want to say that because I really did need to pee, and then I looked at the clock and I said 10:20, so I just ended the show. Urka 69, Larry 66. Urka changes to 79. So you guys are all in the ballpark. Kelsey Grammer's actual age is 68 years old. February 21st, birthday coming up. 1955, which, by the way, is the year that Marty went Back to the Future.
Oh, wait, no, I went over. Yeah.
You were over, Joe. You were just qualified.
So, John Richter. Urka would have if she didn't change hers to 79.
Right, John Richter got it. Yeah.
That's why you never go back. That's like a cardinal rule of betting. Like, don't overthink it.
Well, on the standardized tests, they tell you to, or like any test in school, I feel like the vibe is like go with your first instinct, stick with
Yeah.
your first multiple choice.
All right, let's do headlines. I guess we'll start with Vince. We'll get the whole hubbub out. Bret Hart had some shit to say about Vince this week.
I am not a pervert. I have that soundbite. I actually have that soundbite saved on my computer somewhere.
What? Who said that?
Vince.
Oh,
there
did
was a
he?
whole
Yeah, play
lie
it.
detector thing, dude. I just want to say, now that we're in the wrestling portion of the show, I just want to say that the more I think about it, the more that every piece of wrestling that I've ever enjoyed is covered with a lot of filth, a lens of filth. You know?
You mean in wrestling?
Yeah, man.
Well,
because
it
it's
is
like,
a very grimy, carny business. Yeah.
but I just hate, I feel like this Vince thing is the nail in the coffin of me finally coming to terms with everybody who is just as gross as I always feared they were. And maybe that's not fair. Maybe I don't hate. Maybe Shawn Michaels isn't gross. But he is now to me because of Vince. People, there's a ripple effect for me. They're all gross to me now. They're all like cucks and swingers and weird, perverted, fucking depraved lunatics. Which, by the way, I love. But
You know the band Bad Luck 13, right? Extravaganza.
Yes, I do. When I
So
was
I knew
15 years old, they came into the Red Zone in Queens, New York, and they chained the doors shut.
So I knew, I worked in a restaurant with one of the members. He
He
was like a busboy or something. And he knew a lot about wrestling. He's like, yeah, I know the guy that used to have all these guys coming from Japan for pro wrestling shows, and they would all have sex with him, and then that's how they paid for putting them up in and flying them all in. He would just have sex with all the boys. I'm like, okay, cool.
And you were at the time, you were like, okay, weirdo. But now after the Vince stuff.
It's not that kind of industry, brother.
Yeah. Now after the Vince stuff, you're like, I feel like that guy was.
Yeah, 10 years later, after more racism, sexism, sexual harassment, all this fucking bullshit, murder, suicides, fucking covering up murder, death, all this stuff. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. And it really is a study in how fucking weird we all are. Because
I didn't go to that Hellfest, unfortunately.
Because we all know. You know what I'm saying? We all always knew. Kiss My Ass Club. All this fucking shit. Owen Hart falling from the fucking ceiling. We always knew. We all always knew.
Tie game Flyers.
Yeah, they killed Hellfest too. I was not at that Hellfest.
I was supposed to be, and then I was like, I don't want to go, and then I regretted not going because it was
2004.
Was that the Hellfest when Fear Factory came on after them? They closed the show after that, and it was just still smoky, and the bleachers were toppled over, and they were throwing mortars at people and shit, and pig heads and shit. Good times.
Yo. Yeah, I mean the Bret Hart shit was awesome though. I loved Bret Hart's take on Vince. It really just furthered my love for Bret. He was right.
Yeah, you were right. You were. Tell your sister. You were right.
Bret Hart, by the way, married a black woman, just completely under the radar.
I remember that. Yeah,
didn't have to cut a promo about it like Cody.
Yeah. Adrenaline in my sperm. Yeah. So yeah, not much else besides the Bret Hart thing this week, which was good.
So let's talk about what he said. Do you want to walk us through it?
You walk us through it. You know more about it. You have a better memory than I do, I think, with this.
Well,
just give us some bullet points.
Yeah, I guess the first funny thing about it was, I guess Bret Hart did an interview where they asked him about the Vince thing, And overall, the bullet points are that Brett was very, very welcoming and okay with being like, oh, yeah, fuck Vince. He sucks. You know, and Bret Hart, man, he is a man of principle. Like, he's got a line in the sand, like the Bret Hart line. And by the way, he's a hippie. He definitely smokes pot and loves rock music. And he definitely loves doing satanic things. And I just think that Bret Hart is fucking dope. And he was like, oh, after I heard that about Vince, I can never shake his hand again because gross.
Yep.
And he's like, you know, and he's like, and none of us wanted to believe it. And Bret Hart was basically just like, yo, fuck Vince McMahon. And this was the best part, Joe. This is the part that made me love Bret the most, is that he said, you know, and I'm paraphrasing, that Vince's, like, the greatest harm to Vince now is that he is going to be remembered throughout history as a sick, perverted joke. And yo, when Bret Hart said that, it blew my mind, because that's what we all did. Everybody who is not as smart as Bret Hart heard this Vince shit, knew in their soul that it was horribly shocking, but instantly it's so absurd that you start making a joke about it. And that's what, and Bret Hart, he had his finger on the pulse of that. He was like, he's going to be like Jeffrey Dahmer or Epstein. And he's going to become nothing more than like a shock value punchline in a joke. Which I thought, that blew my fucking mind, dude. What a fucking genius.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it was a slow billionaire, you know, people with a lot of money go insane eventually, I guess, you know, so a lot of these types. That's all it was, I guess.
Right, because you know,
humiliating people, and, you know, I got all this money and do what I want.
Well, you know, and we were just talking, I was just telling you about how all I want to do is be a VIP in a restaurant. Imagine you're Vince McMahon, that's just every time you go out to eat. So now all of a sudden, like, that's not a thrill to you. That's not dripping the endorphins. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you really have to go above and beyond.
Yeah, so it's just to get that endorphin drip, you need to like break the law in a seriously horrible way.
Yeah.
I feel like that is something that can come with celebrity.
Eventually, these news stories, I guess, unless more stuff comes out. But we're this is week 4. We're about a month in from when this story did break. It is kind of, I hate to say, losing a little juice.
But no, it didn't, because, you know, the Ashley Massaro thing came out again.
Oh, there's more from last week?
Oh, I guess, okay, so that's like 2 weeks ago?
We touched on that last week.
Okay, but I just love that, and I'm happy that they have used this time to highlight once again that story, because that shit is a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, I'm not trying to make light of it. It's just like, it's going to be we might be entering a lull, and then there's going to be like trials or whatever comes next.
Well, you know what I mean? Everybody in TKO, there are literally thousands of employees being paid right now to think of ways to counteract what John Richter just said, which is that Vince basically made a joke out of the wrestling business because he literally used everyone's downfall and mockery for his own personal enjoyment. Kiss My Ass Club, the list goes on.
Polka dots.
Yeah,
Stardust,
the polka
dots.
And what about that rumor back in the day that, like, Shawn Michaels got away with everything because Vince was fucking him? Like, that shit feels a little bit more real to me now.
I mean, I still think it was always real. But it's more like, was Taker involved in anything? I don't think Taker was involved in any of this stuff.
You don't think
Brock,
Taker
maybe.
with his fucking Blue Lives Matter hat, him and Vince didn't, like, go fucking do some fucking yeehaw bullshit somewhere?
I think Taker might have been the last person to like hang out with him like on tape recently. Remember we commented about them? Yeah, and it was the last time they were hanging out. So I mean, that's like one of the last like images, you know, also. Not that like, I mean,
yo, and John, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Joe. John, just to talk on your point, listen, Wall Street Journal published all this fucking like shit of this lady, I forget her name, Grant or Grand or whatever her name is. And it's horrifying and it's crazy. But yeah, the Ashley Massaro stuff is horrifying. Like because the Grant thing, in my opinion, humble opinion, I feel like there is a level of consent there. Because there are people who like to be chained up and there are people who like transactional interactions with old men or whatever. And I don't know, and I don't want to cast any, doubt on it, obviously. But I'm just saying, Ashley Massaro, who I met, who was just a fucking, nice person, that shit is the most horrifying. And it almost makes me, sick that this woman now, who obviously, entered into this on some level, she entered into this as a willing and knowing participant. And she's the one who brought him down when Ashley Massaro's shit is 20 years old and it was swept under the rug. And who knows what the fuck else was. Think about China. Who knows what the fuck happened to any of these people who were actually in the business and in love with the business, not some whatever. I don't know, Joe. Because, by the way, if the NDA was paid, we would have never been hearing about this. If the NDA was paid, we would have never been hearing about this. You know what I mean? It's not like she's crying for help and we're finally listening, because Ashley Massaro was. This woman didn't get paid her extra $2 million, so now this shit's published. I don't know. Am I bugging, Joe?
No, not at all. I think also there's a lot of, you also think of a lot of the mental shit that people had to deal with in the aftermath of this. Why did China go on that dark path that she went on? Is it because of Vince and Hunter?
It makes you think about what Vince's role was in the whole Hunter, basically breaking up with China and marrying Stephanie.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and then you have the actual victim. What's her name? Grant? Jamie?
Right.
What is the victim's name? What's her first name?
It's I don't know her first name. It's either Grant or Grand.
It's Grant, but I
don't know. I guess modern society would make me feel like I'm a bad person for not just fully committing to her side of this, and I don't know how much victim is she. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, Larry said that X-Pac fucked her head up. I mean, I believe that too.
Well, I think you know what? More than X-Pac, I think Triple H fucked her head up, dude.
Well, I think he maybe went down the line. The whole clique is very, look who's all in it.
Yeah, and they were probably all fucking laughing about it.
Yeah.
Think about the only thing that's bugging me out about this whole Vince thing. And hey, welcome to the wrestling podcast. We're talking about wrestling, but not really. Even we're talking about Vince McMahon. But the only thing that's bugging me out is the Jim take. The Jim Cornette take is kind of bugging me out, because Jim Cornette's yo. And he's a nihilist like me. He's a fellow nihilist, so there is humor to be found in the extravagance of this craziness. But Jim said Vince McMahon has never, ever showed me a nude picture of a woman. Vince McMahon, when I was at his house writing for WWE, never appeared that way. If anything, Jim Cornette says that he was the guy into the leather, spiky, chained up type of lifestyle, whereas Vince and fucking Pritchard were into sable and white satin panties, So that's what's fucking me up with this whole thing.
Well, maybe he got bored of all that and had to move on to freakier shit.
He got too rich, and he got a little CTE.
What else is going? Yeah, that too. Also, stemming from these allegations, Brock Lesnar and all, he's kind of getting canceled or whatever. Brock Lesnar guy, he is lost right now. His character, his shirt.
Wait, is Brock Lesnar guy, when you say Brock Lesnar guy, I think about the guy, the black dude with the glasses and the huge eyes.
No, that's not Brock Lesnar guy.
That's Undertaker guy.
Undertaker black guy.
Okay. So who's Brock Lesnar guy then?
Brock Lesnar guy is the white dude that does this, like, oh, like he did that, and they always go to that, you know. And then all of a sudden he's just front row all the time. So now he's on this social media thing where he's like, who am I? Like he's trying to find his himself.
He's like Michael Scott with the black turtleneck swinging.
Oh, well, he's buddies with Frank the Clown also. Like they always hang out, you know. After the shows, I always see them too. Like when I'm doing the chairs thing, I always like fuck with them. Like, hey guys, $40 for the chair. They're like, no, we're good, dude. It's like it's always like the same interaction.
Frank the Clown.
Yeah, it's a slow news.
Of a daughter of a classic '90s wrestling pervert.
It's a daughter of a plumber. I think we're gonna go on like a whole thing. Nah. Noelle Foley. Yeah. Do you watch The Bump?
Every single day, Joe.
Every single day?
Every single day. Kyla Braxton. Fucking,
she's on that?
You know, Queen of the Ring.
So some guy from that show got fired, whatever. It's a slow
Mike
news
Rome?
week besides it's not Mike Rome.
Matt John. Johnny Mattinson.
I think they're just like cutting some of the fat. TKO is. Well, that's kind of it for headlines.
Larry, I'm not going to repeat that comment, Larry, but that's very funny. Think about Paige. Think about Bradley Maddox. Think about fucking Xavier Woods. I don't know.
What's up, Brian? All right. So you want to know what AEW did this week on Dynamite?
All I've been hearing from AEW, I've been hearing three things from AEW, and I want you to enlighten me, Joe.
I've been in Cedar Park, Texas yesterday for Dynamite.
I saw that Orange Cassidy was like bleeding coagulated blood. Like he just had like blood film on his shit.
Whatever.
Hey,
Dynamite scored an 8. Another well-scored Dynamite on CageMatch.net. They were in Cedar Park, Texas, and usual dark match, nothing matches. John Moxley opened the show, defeating Dax Harwood. That match went almost 20 minutes. It was a good match. But a lot of these openers go a little too long for me, and they usually always start with Moxley, so it kind of like pisses me off. But Dax is great, and it's good to see FTR back on the show.
Yeah, but Dax took the loss, right?
Dax took the loss, but then there was a huge beatdown after. I think it was
Claudio
Mox. Then came out and they tried some shit. Like they're going like full heel with the BCC, and then
I just hate
Cash,
that like
Cash came out.
I just hate that Dax is the only one from that team that gets solo matches, and he always loses. It's like just like
when Dax faces Cash, he wins.
Right. Well, oh my God.
They did that match in Philly, so I was there live, so that's a good, nice notch on my belt, I guess. Yeah. Well, they don't have him in tag team matches, but then have him in singles matches, and
he just loses every time.
Yeah, just so fucking stupid.
He always like mark it down minus 1,500. Dax 1-on-1 loss.
What else was on the show? Wardlow defeats Barrett Brown in 1 minute 23 seconds. This should have been every match that Wardlow should have had with Undisputed.
This is war. Ding 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 ding. This is war.
He always has the straps, and he's like.
I saw that somebody
and he does this. He's like, "Ooh," does like the Batista like, "Who's the man?"
I saw that he was posing to the Titantron of himself, and I saw somebody tweet and meme him and say, "I think this is the best gimmick ever. Pose to your own video on the Titantron."
Yeah, he sucks. So he squashed some dude. AEW TNT title match. Oh, by the way,
You're absolutely right. By the way, he does completely suck.
Adam Cole was ringside on commentary, but didn't say anything on commentary. He didn't have a mic in his hand. No mic. He's just like this. You know, like just standing there. We're just sitting there. Excuse me. The match ends. The Wardlow squashes this jobber, and then Zach says, Cole goes, "Thank you. Good night, guys," and then just leaves. And that's all that segment was. And this is all the Undisputed did. Or they did something else later in the show, but there was no big angle. There was no promo. There was nothing. So it looks like they don't have anything to do for Undisputed now.
You know, when AEW finally goes out of business, which I hope never happens, I'm going to regret all these episodes that we've done where I've worked Wednesday night and not watched the program. Like, if AEW goes out of business, I think I would be a prime candidate to buy an entire box set of every single show they've ever done just to relive the madness. Like, I feel like I'm going to...
You need just a big VHS set. Yeah.
I'm really going to regret not watching more because it's such like a fever dream time.
Now is not the time to be watching. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, well,
next up was...
I wish I was, because then when they find, like 10 years from now, I'd have that credibility. Be like, yo, I watched every AEW Dynamite. I watched every single one.
I walk alone.
Like the fuse.
Next up in the middle
there's
of the
gonna be
show,
a time like 20 years from now where like it's just like Jinko jeans. Like AEW's gonna come back around and it's gonna be like the trendy thing. You know what I mean? And like
you've seen this thing called AEW, brother.
Right now,
yeah, because wrestling's gonna be so terra bad and like
right. It's gonna be like UFC.
It already is now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's gonna be a UFC. Yeah.
It's gonna be NFL level nonsense. UFL level nonsense.
Yeah, that's what it'll be.
And like we're gonna look back on this 20 years from now and be like, AEW was the last moment that wrestling was real. It was booked by a crazy man, and we should have supported him.
The
more.
last outlaw. The last outlaw, Tony Khan.
Dude. Yo, buy up your AEW T-shirts right now. You think $1 million
AEWTix.com.
You think $1 million man T-shirt from 1995 is worth $500? Well, guess what?
Or Razor Ramon Machismo
Julia
shirt.
Hart T-shirt's gonna be worth $1,500.
Another thing, Julia Hart hasn't been on TV in about like 3 weeks.
I still love her though.
I keep switching to the Raw.
Blackpool Combat Club merch now.
Yeah.
Well, you
Adam Copeland. Adam Copeland versus
Long-term
Danny
investments.
Garcia goes to a no contest. This is for the AEW number one contendership, but it goes to a no contest.
Wish I
because
watched.
Christian came out with Nick Wayne's mom, and Nick Wayne's mom now has also a turtleneck. She's wearing
Hell yeah.
she's wearing like it goes all the way up. It's pretty funny. And then they concertoed Edge.
Oh, and that guy's got a fused neck.
Yeah. They just kept putting over Danny Garcia like, when he started 7 years ago, would he ever thought he'd be in the ring with the one rated R superstar, Adam Copeland? No, I think not. Taz, I think not. Yeah, my sentiments exactly. The Young Bucks.
Yambag Jones.
Defeat Yambag, yeah. Defeat Top Flight. The Bucks wrestled the whole match in this same exact white suit.
Oh my God, no!
With the blood stains. And had it buttoned the whole fucking match.
So lame, Joe. But I feel like once again, it's come full circle for me. I can't take my eyes off of them because they're so bad right now. And you see that they're like they must have just watched Succession. So now they have like a new like blum blum blim blim blum 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 blum. We're wearing our suits and we're on private jets. Oh my God.
Boys and girls of every age. That's what it kind of sounds like.
Yeah, dude. Oh my God, the worst, the best, the worst.
I think this is when Darby came out and there was a promo. I didn't really pay attention.
So I did not see this. I did not read anything about this other than, I guess I read a tweet quoting Dave Meltzer burying this promo, saying that Darby didn't. Apparently, the Young Bucks attacked Sting's family. They attacked Sting and Darby, and
that was last week.
Instead of Darby coming out and like yelling about any of those issues,
we like undermined it.
He like undermined them, and basically like, I guess through trying to make himself meta. I didn't see it, so I don't know what happened. But like, I guess he tried to like put over Cody Rhodes to say that they were like weak EVPs or something along those lines.
And then he will finish his story. Like he just starts going and like talking about WWE storylines.
To read the headlines that I read, it seems like it was like that. Like people are making it seem like that. Like I haven't seen it personally. I would love. I want to go watch it now. But that's what I've been reading, is that Darby went like a full left turn and basically put over Cody.
I'll have to look it up then. I keep switching over to the Monday Night Raw tab. I just want to get off AEW so bad. Willa Nightingale defeated Sky Blue, who has yet another new ring gear and a new tattoo. She has like she's working on like something like this, but it's only the line work. Not everyone can sit in a chair for 8 hours and pass out like that.
I mean, if I was a wrestler, I'd be like, yo, there's no way I'm hitting TV with just outline.
Nah, it looks dumb.
That's crazy. Like, what is your job?
Especially her, where all eyes are on you, like a Sky Blue, one of the most watched, you know.
That's a little strange to me.
And then Orange Cassidy defeated Matt Taven in a non-title Texas death match in the main event. And the match was good, but it was out of nowhere. Yeah, they were not. Oh, no, they were in Texas. Yeah, they were in Cedar Park. So
this had nothing on the
Tony
line?
Khan's like, we're in Texas. We're doing a Texas death match, brother. We're doing it. We're in Texas. We're doing it, brother. We got to do it, brother.
So,
out of nowhere. I don't know what the beef between them are. I don't know.
They did the classic.
That was fucking crazy, bro. They were juicing like a motherfucker. There was like Taven did the big fucking dive over the ropes to the outside and fucking like Chris Benoit fucking headbutt the fucking table and it broke and he went like full body like cross bodied the fucking announcer table at the same time. Like it was wild.
Yeah, I was getting live texts from Larry. There was like,
it's good.
AW sucks. The first text was like, Orange versus Matt, main event, AW's so lost. And then like 10 minutes later, it was like, this shit is crazy. This shit is awesome. So yeah, I saw a few clips.
This shit sucks. This is wild. You need to put it on. Call your friends.
Yeah. I missed it.
You want to? Well, maybe we'll read some. A good thing we should do now that we're doing this cage match things. We should read some of the comments that are also on the show.
Oh my God, I am so ready for this new segment.
Some of these are very long-winded. I'm going to go with the short ones. 9.0 from Hank Hell NBA wrote, really enjoyed this Dynamite. Amazed at how AEW is able to fit so much in 2 hours, which is I'm also amazed as well. I was shocked when we still had one match to go after Willow versus Sky Blue. Had a very little expectations for the Texas Death Match, but it was it was so much fun and really well worked.
Okay.
I'm gonna get a lower one from True Critic 42. He scored it a 6.0. Average show, some good spots, some botches, especially the Sammy one to Jeff looked bad.
Oh, apparently Jeff got knocked out on that. Apparently Sammy Guevara.
Did I skip a match?
Sammy Guevara apparently kneed Jeff Hardy directly in the head, and Jeff Hardy got knocked unconscious.
I saw that clip floating around, but was that on Rampage?
Might have been on Rampage.
Because I read all the matches and it wasn't on there.
Rampage.
Blah, 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 looked bad. Joe promo was good. Oh, I forgot to mention that. Yeah, because it wasn't on the results. So Joe, let me finish this thing. Joe promo was good, but the rest of the matches didn't have much story. Why is Ospreay first opponent gonna be take a shit? They booked that match. It's gonna be Ospreay versus
at the PPV
at Revolution. They need to have something happen before they announce a match so people can be interested. The match will probably be good, but they had the time to heat up as well, less than a month in advance. Okay, no more comments. So
new segment.
No, Swerve. Joe came out, said a little thing. Swerve came out. They started going at it. Good promo from Swerve. I don't remember exactly what he said. Then Adam Page comes out, and he's just like, I don't know he's definitely going heel with his gimmick, but like he's just kind of like a blumbering idiot now, heel. Like I don't know what it is. Like,
he's a darker Adam.
Yeah, he's like darker, but then he looks darker, but then now he kind of acts like a bitch also. He's like, I beat you, kind of like a chicken shit kind of heel at the same time. Either way, like Joe just ended it. He's like, I don't give a fuck about you guys. I'm gonna beat you. Just fucking.
So what's gonna be the match at Revolution? I feel like
the three of them.
It's a threesome.
Yeah. Holy fuck, dude. This is like. I'm not gonna read this comment, but it's like this long. Like it's literally the size of my monitor. It's crazy how someone can write this much about a Dynamite.
I feel like I need you to read it.
I'm not reading this whole fucking thing. They're just dissecting every little bit. His name is Carter Punch. Fun show tonight. Dax Mox was a physical as you'd expect. Two great wrestlers beating the hell out of each other. Mox gave Dax a ton, and the match turned out great. I'm usually not much of. It's just too much.
All right, let's do a little WWE real quick. It looks like we're doing qualifiers for Elimination Chamber, but I don't know what the winner of Elimination Chamber gets. Do they get a shot at Seth Rollins' title? They get a shot at... So the winner of the men's and women's Elimination Chambers get a shot at the title at WrestleMania that the Royal Rumble winners did not pick.
Correct. I don't think did they announce that yet?
So you're going to get Becky versus Rhea. You're going to get Becky versus Rhea. You're going to get Io versus Bayley. You're going to get, I guess it looks like you're going to get Cody versus Roman with The Rock and Rollins at ringside? I think
it's rumored it's going to be a
baby.
tag match night 1. And then Roman, Cody the next night.
Tag match Roman, Rock, Cody, Seth, night 1?
Yeah. Bloodline versus Storied Shield.
I hate that.
Well, they already told him there was a promo on Raw that was Seth and Cody.
Yeah, I'll be your shield.
So only he's like, I'll be your shield, brother. But yeah. If he's going to be a shield, that's either tag team partner or he's in his corner. Looks like Cody was about to cry, too. So Raw scored lower than AEW. That's only because of Marks, probably. But Raw is pretty bad. They're from Lexington, Kentucky. Opener got a good score. Jey Uso and the New Day defeat Imperium.
Right, Jey Uso and the New Day are best friends.
The New Day, I see. I go to Planet Fitness over here, and I'm walking on the treadmill, and I look up, and it's usually around 1:00, and Pictionary's on. And who do I see? Kofi Kingston and Big E are on Pictionary every day. If you're wondering what they do, also on the side.
I love that. I love that for you.
What's worse than watching AEW? Joe telling us step by step what happened.
Calm down, Bren.
I think going through.
We don't like that kind of humor.
I think going through the results quicker and just like giving a 1 cent thing is better than when I used to take all the notes. You know, I used to go through everything, and then like we would just take too much time on it.
I think both methods are great, Joe.
Yeah, I guess they're right. The other method had more of shitting on like Renee and shitting on commentary.
I
And, like,
really did want. How much Renee was there in this episode? I am
it
curious.
was only like maybe like 1 or 2 or maybe max 3 on this. On
Oh,
this
okay.
week's.
See, I miss thinking about and talking about Renee.
Bobby Lashley defeats Bronson Reed. That was to qualify for the Chamber. So Bobby
Okay.
Lashley's going to be
All
in
right. Okay.
that. Another elimination Chamber qualifying match. Liv Morgan defeats Zoe Stark.
Revenge era. Liv Morgan from New Jersey.
Oh yeah. Liv Morgan saying like, "I'm going on revenge. This will be the best version of Liv Morgan. I have a chip on my shoulder, and I wasn't supposed to take the fall for MJF for the ganja, so I won't. I'm back." JD McDonough defeats.
I believe her.
That what I just said reminded me of like, remember on Botchamania when they were like, "Gonna go out there and do good lucha." Like,
Yeah, we're gonna do good.
I'm gonna do lucha. Good. JD McDonough defeats R-Truth. I don't know exactly what they're doing. I didn't really watch Raw this week. LA Knight defeats Ivar. He's also now in the Elimination Chamber.
Ivar.
And there's
MJF.
Ivar. Ivar's one of the Viking Raiders, I guess.
And he's in the chamber?
LA Knight is. LA Knight defeated him.
Oh, much better.
So, and then Shinsuke Nakamura defeats Sami Zayn in the main event. So a very weak Raw besides the Cody Seth promo.
Poor Sammy.
No Roman. Yeah, like what? I mean, like, so what? Chamber's going to be LA Knight, Bobby Lashley, Drew.
Maybe
This is
Sammy.
probably this isn't for a little bit, right? It's not like this weekend, is it?
No, it's next weekend. It's like the 25th.
It's next week. So
or something.
we have back to back pay-per-views then. Or not the same weekend, but we have Perth, and then the next weekend we have Sting Revolution. Sting-Illusion.
Sting-Illusion. Is Sting-Illusion in March? No. Sting-Illusion is the last weekend of February.
March 3rd.
Is Sting-Illusion?
Yeah, because 29 days in February.
I'm going to look
right?
it up right now.
We also have a small scheduling conflict for the 29th, which is a Thursday. That's when FF7 Rebirth comes out.
And what this conflict is that you need to be playing that for 25 hours?
I mean, like, I might just, like, the only break I take is to do this show.
Hey, you know what? Elimination Chamber is Saturday, February 24th.
Yeah, so it's next weekend.
AEW Revolution is March 3rd.
That's my birthday.
No, is it really?
No, it's not.
Yo, Joe, how about this? Next week? No. Is next week the scheduling conflict? When is the scheduling conflict?
2 weeks from today. 2 weeks from today.
Yo, why don't you just stream instead of us running the show that Thursday? Why don't you just stream yourself playing it? Right
That's
here.
what the plan was.
Right here on this channel, though.
Oh, you want me to do it on this channel? I could do it on this channel.
You know? I mean, it's a possibility.
Let me do that. That's fine.
Just make it a whole. I mean, we made 2 hours almost of this episode about everything that wasn't wrestling. And you know what? I don't hate that idea.
Well, that's usually what I do in my stream anyway. I just talk about whatever.
Well, you can think about it.
I'm trying to get back into streaming though. Let's see. Anything else you want to talk about? I think we covered a lot
I think
today.
I'm good. I think I'm good to go. We're on 2:10. We did
that's
10
not bad. Wait, 10
bonus
minutes.
minutes. I mean,
And
because
done-
we knew that it was going to be a slow wrestling news day. I mean, what else happened?
Yeah, did everything in 40 minutes, which is good to know that we can do all the wrestling within
Yeah.
probably 35 to 40 minutes.
You know, and if we wanted to get into more of the Rock and Cody stuff, we could. I could talk about that for like 2 hours because it's very interesting to think about.
So did you watch the rest of the press con? Did you watch all of it at all? I'm gonna say no, you don't really watch
I
them.
watched it live with the sound off because I was
Well,
on the
then you're
phone.
still at the point you were last week for last week's show.
Yeah,
You
but
never
I
went
get,
back and watched it.
no, but like the gray areas have kind of been filled in with like Instagram clips and Twitter
Yeah.
clips and stuff, you know. So I have through just like scrolling and doom scrolling like increased my knowledge, I would say. You know, it's interesting. It's just to me the most fascinating thing is how much of this last 3-week stretch did they plan and foresee? Because I just still, and everybody's saying it. Jim's saying it. You're saying it. Larry and Brian on the B show are saying it. Prince on the C show is saying it. Everybody's saying that like they pivoted. They actually, in all earnest, thought that The Rock versus Roman and Cody giving away the match was best for business. And all the pundits are saying that they pivoted and that they saw the shit online and it actually made them change their mind and go in a different way for the press conference, which to me is crazy, Joe. The WWE I know never changes its mind based on every.
Yeah, Vince was always a stickler. Like, you're gonna like it. You're gonna like it.
So it's just very
like it.
yeah down the throat. Fuck them.
Yeah.
And so it's just very surreal to me to think that when Cody gave The Rock the dab, the Predator, when he gave him the Predator, and he was like, "Yo, it's your match now, dog." That it's just so crazy to think that WWE, it's like, this is what we're doing.
I'll finish your story.
And then fans didn't like it, so they were like, oh, sorry, we're not doing this anymore. And they did a 180. Like, I'm having a hard time believing that, dude.
It's a new WWE. We're headed in a new direction, and this will be a new journey for this company.
And I just
Are you
have
ready?
one question for you.
Are you ready?
Are you?
Devil without a cause, and I'm back. No, that's the different song.
Yeah, no, we're woke. We're woke WWE now.
All right. Anyone you want to shout out? Anything you're looking forward to for next week, or want to mention?
Man, you know, I guess I just
we'll have our elimination preview next week. We'll talk more wrestling next week.
right because next
Talk
week
more
we're
wrestling,
getting-
elimination chamber
Yeah.
talk next week, preview talk. Maybe who knows? Maybe there'll be a DraftKings thing thrown in there. Maybe they'll have something for us to use with that.
And then the week after that, we're going to be reviewing the chamber and
Well,
then
that's what I'm saying.
previewing.
So it's I'm gonna be gaming all day, and then we're gonna have a fucking long fucking show, like a very talky show. Not that we cannot do it in 2 hours, but those shows when we constantly skip around, those are the real tiring ones.
Well, I feel like
It's like, you know, this one was like fine. I could continue going because it was just natural talking, and then just a bunch of wrestling. Yeah, just chatting, and then it was just wrestling. Where so it's like, like the car is like, you know, going in different. It's like, I got to talk about the show. Then we could talk about the pay-per-view. Then we got to talk about this. Then we got to preview this. Then we got to It's just like, you know, it's a lot.
Did you
I enjoy it. It's just a
see?
lot.
Did you think Chris Rock Will Smith when you saw The Rock slap Cody?
Why people always why are they comparing it to that?
I don't know, but that's like I've heard that.
Bill Smith just smacked the shit out of me. Smacked the shit out of me. Smacked the
But
shit.
I guess like I've heard
Oh,
from
man.
multiple sources and medias that I respect that they think that like The Rock in his black tank top stepping up and being like, "You disrespected my family. Get my family's." No, you see, he should have said.
He smacked him like this too. Like he touched him.
yeah.
He didn't go like this. He didn't go like those slap
Yeah, he didn't.
competitions
he
you see?
didn't
Yeah, he didn't
power
open hand him.
slap him. Yeah, he
He's just like-
3-fingered him. He fingertip slapped him. Yeah. You know, I feel
smack the
like
shit out
I feel like that just speaks to the simplicity of the average viewer and consumer's mind. That just because like 8 months later, The Rock slapped Cody in a wrestling thing, people are saying, "Oh, that's an homage to Will Smith," and I don't think it is. Like, people can slap each other and it not be about the last time a person slapped somebody.
Here's an homage. See you next week, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. On behalf of Flagship Joe, I am PK. Thank you for watching. Here comes Elaine, Boulevard Boys. We'll see you next week. Out of time. Bye-bye.
Oh, so Christ, may you burn in hell forever, 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 forever.